Hello everyone and welcome to our Bata podcast with me Manas and my co-host Nitya. Hello Nitya,
Hey guys, hey Manas, what's up?
nothing much. I was watching this documentary, The Suitable Girl on Netflix. I don't know how it popped on my home screen, but I started watching it. Quite
Hmm.
depressing actually. Not depressing as such,
Okay, that's
but
sad. Why is it
yeah,
depressing though?
I don't know, like it was, I felt ki, oh my God, how bad it is to be a girl and for the family when they start looking for, like कि शादी ही नहीं हो गया पता नहीं क्या हो गया लड़के नहीं हो गए then it was a whole weird thing and the funny part is just before this I was watching Say I Do and it's a totally different concept people actually fall in love with their own nobody is directing them कि आप इनसे प्यार करो they're not arranging anything it's all organic and they're trying to convince their parents to come to their wedding they're planning that and India is totally different scene it's such a weird bizarre concept to me it's a topic for some other episode we're not going to go
Yeah.
into depth about it.
It's like the family hopes that we'll just kind of get our daughter to marry a stranger and then eventually she might just end up falling in love with him,
I,
which is something I don't know how that works.
it's such a bizarre thing it's so bizarre
Yeah,
everyone's
it's really
unhappy.
bizarre. Yeah, I think the Indian society, if we admit it or not, we really give a lot of importance to looks and even more importance to the color of our skin. And we might call other cultures really racist, but I think in the Indian culture is one of the most racist cultures that I've ever come across myself. So anyway, enough about that. I guess we're going to save that topic for another episode because we are not talking about toxic masculinity today. We're going to introduce ourselves.
Exactly. Aside from
So,
this, I
yeah.
went on a walk today, morning walk. I usually go for it used to be a regular thing for me, but post
Hmm.
pandemic, it changed. I stayed home. I did not step out at all for no reason whatsoever, like since it started.
Hmm.
And today I
Yeah, I can relate, man.
yeah,
I can
and
relate.
I went out for the first time at 5 today, and it was a bit dark. I came across new dogs also, and I was a bit scared. I was like, shit, man, there is no one around me who's gonna save me if they happen to attack me. There's no car I can climb. There was nothing, and I was like, shit, please, it doesn't happen. And then at the same time, thinking, oh no, when we get scared, some sort of hormones are released in our sweat, and I know that dogs can sense that and they'll be like ये तो डर रहा ये तो मेरे से डर रहा है इसको तो पक्का आज पीछे से बटका भरेगा मैं like shit it cannot happen today and I'm a person who sweats excessively I have hyperhidrosis I was like okay so I guess this is the day I'm gonna get bitten I can't even go to the hospital but then anyway I liked it
Dude, I'm just happy you're alive. I'm just really happy you're alive. I'm just going to cry.
and and on top of that I
But
was wearing a mask
yeah,
DIY mask my hanky over my nose and I wear specs so it was all foggy I didn't have a good vision.
I can so relate to that. When I step out of the car, I'm literally telling my mom to hold my hand and guide me towards the staircase because I can relate to Rani Mukherjee in black. I can literally relate to Helen Keller and every person
It
who
was such a
cannot
funny
see.
moment. I was like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
blind, I'm sweating, there are dogs in front of me, I'm scared for my life. Why did I come for this morning walk?
What is so good about this morning? Like, seriously, why did you even? I think you should just stop going for
Or
morning
just
walks.
living.
Yeah, just living.
Anyway, what's with you? How was your week?
Yeah. How was my week? Well, it was a very weak week. Yeah. Well,
Please
my life is
elaborate.
not very happening. Not that it was earlier, but more so post-pandemic. It's like the only map I refer to is a map of the home, which is, my movement from the bedroom to the bathroom to the kitchen and back. And it's really hilarious when mom's like, "कहाँ जा रहे हो?" As if she actually thinks I'm gonna go somewhere, and I'm like, "मैं kitchen जा रही हूँ." And it's like you have to inform people now where you're going. बेटा 11 बजे से पहले वापस आ जाना, like that kind of a thing that's going on. So yeah, it's like this unfamiliarity with stepping out. But yeah, I do step out once in a while because my grandparents are like really old, so I meet them because I'm really close to them and they live close by. So that's the only reason why I step out. But otherwise, it's really surreal. I met one of my friends yesterday after ages, and it's like one part of me is like, oh my God, I'm meeting this person after so long. And yet it feels like, oh my God, we just met yesterday. So there is this contrast because, because of social media, you're still so updated with their lives that you don't feel like, you've been distant for too long. And yeah, so those are one of the things. Otherwise, right now I am boiling in my room. I feel like a momo, and I am drowning in a pool of my own sweat because I need listeners and we need listeners.
I think people should know the reason why you're boiling and why you're sitting in this hot ass room. Thing is, people, yeah, thing is, people,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
record
they
this
need to know.
podcast, we needed good equipment. But since we can't afford it because we're broke, we decided to use the microphone that comes for free in our phones. And
Sad
it was
life.
catching every sort of sound around us, like every single thing. The bed sheet, yeah, that was just laying around. It wasn't moving. Yeah, it still wasn't making some noise. I don't know why, but it was doing its thing. So we had to like sit in the soundproof area. So for me, it's in my wardrobe.
Wow. That is really a stretch. Is your phone like hanging on your hanger or something?
What's happening? Can you see me through my camera? Did I switch something on? I did actually. I'm not even lying. It it got too much,
Sab
so I
dikta
made a
hai.
DIY. I'll tell you what happened. We were supposed to do our intro podcast on the first try. It's a sixth try right now. Sixth. I'm not even
Yeah. Sixth or seventh. I don't know. I've lost count. I mean, I feel that the aim of this podcast is to
exactly.
make
And people,
several
we
first
decided so many
episodes.
things, and over the course of 3 weeks, we recorded our first episode 6 times. So they say
Yeah.
third time's the charm, or something like that. So multiplied by two. So by this logic, we should be viral now.
I think all our other episodes are only going to be distant dreams. We'll have a lot of content, but we'll keep doing the first episode the nth time. Like we just doomed with the first episode.
So Nitya, I was saving this question for this
Yeah,
podcast, and I already know the answer because we have done this for 5 times already. But I'm still gonna ask you. So Nitya,
exactly. I'm just so predictable now. I mean, like, why even ask? Let's just know it and go ahead.
thing is that we want to be as transparent,
Anyway.
as open as possible because only then you can relate to us. We want to be relatable.
Yeah. We're so transparent, guys, that you might not even hear us properly because of our poorly sounding audio systems or lack of audio systems. That's how transparent we are. That we could not even edit properly. We could not even merge
No,
our
no, no, no.
audios properly. That's how
No, no, no. I
transparent we
actually
get.
edited the fifth recording and it was really horrible. But I spent about 4 hours. I'm not even joking because the first time I edited, it was okay. But then somehow I skipped a segment and it jumped from one topic to another like so quickly. It was like evident. So I had to do it all over again. And yeah, so I'm doing
That's
it.
traumatic, like
I
literally
know.
traumatic.
Okay. Not to stay away from the topic. So Nitya, tell me.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to know your honest reaction for the sixth time. Why did you agree to do this podcast with me?
I don't know. I think मेरी किस्मत खराब थी. And yeah, seriously, like, how could I say no to that face? No, but yeah. Okay, I don't
Oh
know why I
God.
said that. Like now, sometimes now that I'm like now that we're
It's
speaking,
okay, it's
I'm just like,
okay.
should we edit stuff or not?
I'm not going to edit this part.
Because
Like,
because we're not going to sound any worse or better than this. I mean, literally,
I'm not editing
like
this
this
part.
is
I
gold.
never get any compliments. Hello people. So this is all. If I'm getting this, I'm going to keep it in the.
Guys, he is not editing stuff just because he wants that one compliment about him to last in the
Can you
podcast.
imagine
So
the whole
needy.
purpose of this podcast is not to help other people, but to get
Is
compliments.
to help ourselves. कितने मतलबी लोग हैं यार हम. It's very bad.
Oh my God.
Okay, yeah, but well, since you asked, let me answer your question more so for the audience if it exists. But yeah, I hope there's an
Two
audience.
audience
Mom, dad, if you're listening. Yeah.
who are listening and
The
talking.
people who are speaking. Yeah, I'm your audience and you are mine. Okay, so dear audience, well, I think I said yes to Manas because a part of me, if I would have kind of rejected his offer, he would have started crying. But beyond that, I think because I would have always kept wondering, what if? I'm like a single child in my family. I'm like the only child in my family. So I've been brought up in a very protective environment. And this time I decided to risk it a little bit and actually step out of my comfort zone for once, because I mean, you need to break away from a cocooned atmosphere, and you need to, plus I think हमारी सांस में फटेगी because we know where this is
Oh
going.
God.
And also I think getting comfortable with facing rejection. So yeah, jokes apart, this is literally my effort to get comfortable with facing rejection and not letting other people's perceptions about me weigh me down, because in the short term, I mean, you might feel it's working for you, but in the long term, if you're trying to please other people, I mean, you'll just end up becoming a version of yourself that you do not even recognize. I mean, you
Yeah.
will become a version of yourself that you won't even kind of, your reflection will not match your mirror. So that's not what you want to lead to, right? And I don't want to get philosophical, because we are not like we are not very knowledgeable people. I think we are very misinformed actually, but sabhi gyani hai in one way or the other. But yeah, this is, I think, my dream, and like this was Manas's brainchild. So it was my dream to create a platform for free expression, and well, because this was Manas's idea. If this is a disappointment, guys, you know who to troll on social media.
It's Manas underscore underscore Yadav.
So now you know exactly the account you need to search for when you need to make embarrassing memes. Yeah, well, before people give you attention, I should ask you, because this is a more importantly, I mean, this has been your idea, Manas. So, like, I joined you in this venture, but what made you feel that this is the right time to start a podcast, and why did you even start this podcast? Like, what was going on in your mind when you
To
decided to
say
start
this
this
for the
podcast?
sixth time, I would like to say,
And
children.
I'm gonna act surprised.
The
I'll
thing
try
is
my
that
best. Yeah.
few years ago, I was in a dark place, and that's my dramatic
What's
voice.
with that voice? You sound like
Excuse
Shrek.
me.
Anyway,
So
go on.
few years ago, I was in a dark place,
Yeah,
and not dark enough to go for drugs because I didn't have access to them, and the money.
thank God. Guys, please don't do drugs. I hope you're understanding
Please, the
the
intention is
intentions of this
not to
podcast.
spread
Please just
awareness about the
don't.
drugs. It's please give me attention. That's the intention. Anyway, so back then, I was not interacting with anyone. Used to be home alone throughout the day, and the whole day would go by without talking to anyone. And then because to escape that sort of
Hmm.
dark place, I started looking for the temporary escapes, and one of them was YouTube, all the daily vlogs and all that. So I would like watch those, and I used to feel good like watching them because it used to make me feel a bit normal. And then those daily vloggers started doing the podcast, and then listening to the podcast, it completely changed my mind and my perspective. I gained a lot from it, and it kept me sane. I didn't go cuckoo. But the whole situation, I mean, I did, but I'm not going to
Are
confess
you
on
sure
this.
you didn't go cuckoo?
So, but the whole thing was, they were all Americans, and or they were Canadians. They were all foreigners to us. And when even now, when Indians have started doing this, they're all entertainers. And but even now, currently, Indians who are like currently doing podcasts are all entertainers. And even now, they are relatable to some level. They are Indians. They are all, not
Yeah.
all, like most of them come from the middle class families, so there's a level of relatability. But still, they are not. They don't have normal 9 to 5 jobs
Hmm.
and normal lifestyle. Not normal as such. They're abnormal, but they're all entertainers. Totally different field.
They're all well established people in their field, so they're all well known in one way.
So I thought right now a lot of people are feeling certain way. They don't know how to act in a pandemic and how to adjust to it because you're not educated on it ever. We're not told, oh, you're supposed to do this and this way when something happens like
Yeah.
this. So it's all new to us. And so I thought, you know what, I'll do this podcast right now. It's the most appropriate time. I'm not going anywhere. And so I thought if I do this right now, people might they'll feel that, oh, there is someone familiar voice with the same struggles, and that way they won't feel alone. That's the whole point of
Hmm.
me doing this. And also I wanted to vent, and I wanted my
Yeah.
voice to be on Spotify and all those platforms. So
Hmm. असली सच बाहर आ रहा है अब उभर उभर के. But yeah, that's, I think I completely agree with you on that. First of all, our education system is crippled because it does not prepare us for the real life situations. I cannot refer to history or algebra when I'm under a crisis. And mental health is not something that is kind of given equal weightage as the academic performances of people. So I think those are two things that should be equally kind of considered, because if you're not mentally sound, you're not, I mean, you can't kind of
I don't know
operate
what
in
you're
this
talking
world.
about, because I learned so
So
much from the पानीपत वाला जो झगड़ा हुआ था हमारा. मैं तो उसी को ही आजकल अपनी लाइफ में अप्लाई करता हूँ. इसने मेरे को काटा तो मैं इसको काटेगा.
okay, please share with us how.
History is everything, man.
You're just dropping these really scary spontaneous, I mean, sorry audience, I mean, I really hope you're immune to our humor, because otherwise this is the beginning of the end. Like, this episode is the beginning of the end. This is where we're leading to. We're digging our own grave, Manas, but yeah, I think that we kind of saw that coming.
Oh my God.
So
And people, I'll tell you this also. She was supposed to do, her ambition was to do TED Talks. Not even not if not TED Talks, TEDx Vasant Kunj. But the South Delhi aunties were like not in favor of that, and COVID happened, so she had to settle. So she
sure,
had to settle for
yeah,
this.
yeah. Exactly, man. Thanks, man. Like, you can't keep one secret to yourself. Like, thanks so
Super
much. Just
organic,
spilling it out.
super open.
Yeah, guys. I was very ambitious about doing TEDx, but unfortunately those aunties had arthritis, so they could not come to listen to my TED talk in the Residents Welfare Association. And then I thought, oh, in order to be heard out, I'll have to join Manas's venture of starting a podcast, and here I am now, wasting my time and sweating it out. यही अब जिंदगी है.
So people just know this. That this is our intro episode. The whole we are not experts of any kind. We have no knowledge, literally no knowledge as such.
Yeah, I think the audience has figured that out by now, that we are not
Exactly.
experts of any kind. We are literally ordinary people you will meet in, I don't know, you might just bump into me in Mother Dairy, or I don't go to Mother Dairy though, so I don't know why I said Mother Dairy. And also Mother Dairy is not sponsoring this podcast, so that's really sad, guys. Because I said Mother Dairy three times.
If you feel like us, if you feel like sponsoring us, anyone, Mother Dairy, Vita, Anand Doodh, anyone.
Yeah, just give me five dabbas of mishti doi. I'll be very content with life. Yeah. कुछ भी दे दो यार.
डबल टोन
टू
चलेगा.
toned milk दे दो. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, like, jokes apart, I mean, so how have you been kind of spending your day during the pandemic? Has your routine worsened, or have you just become extremely creative in life and
uh, Routine is out of the window completely. I have, yeah, I have no routine as such. But
agree with
I've been
that?
experimenting with a lot of stuff.
Hmm.
Like I tried to give myself a haircut the other day, and oh my God, Nitya, I
Oh
cannot tell
God,
you
that
how
sounds like
bad
a
it was.
nightmare.
It is not. It was. It is. I left it halfway through. I was like, I can't do it anymore. And I have the worst haircut right now. So what happened was, I thought, you know what, I'll give myself a really fancy fade. I took out my trimmers. I went to my washroom. I was like, ठीक है, अब तो करेगा मैं. ठीक है. And the moment I went to washroom, I realized, shit, it's too damn hot. And secondly, I cannot remove my glasses. So and I have really bad vision. So I started giving myself fade. So I cannot look back. I don't have the mirror. I don't have the eyes at the back. So I'm like figuring it out. But मैं अपने बाल छू रहा हूँ पीछे से कि क्या होता है, कहाँ पे कहाँ कैसे ठीक चल रहा है नहीं चल रहा. And halfway through, I was completely covered in, my hands are covered in so much hair, and I was sweating profusely. So it was so confusing. I could not get the feel कि मेरे हाथ पे बाल है
Oh
या फिर मेरे
God.
सर के ऊपर बाल. And I was like, you know what?
या बाल
I
में
think I'm
हाथ है.
done. So मेरे आधे बाल कट हुए हैं अजीब से wonky से. I made a lot of cuts, clear cut, मतलब कि lines बन चुकी हैं.
I so want to do a video call with you right now because I need to see that
Sorry, man.
how I need to see how you've
No.
trimmed your hair. I really want to see. Is it is it a mistaken katora cut
No, no, not
or
Katora cut. Like I tried, I thought I'll give myself a Katora cut because it was more not safe, but I thought I'll start with that. But उससे पहुंचने से पहले ही सब कुछ हो गया था. But हाँ, there's sort of a Katora thing happening. And I got so tired. Like neighbors watch me when I go outside, water plants or something. कूड़े वाले भैया देखते हैं, सब देखते हैं. I'm like देखते रहो, have a good laugh. But I'm not going to give myself another haircut.
कूड़े वाले भैया? You're very mean right now if you're listening to us.
He's a big fan of me.
Yeah.
And about being creative, I thought after pandemic started, I didn't have a lot of food content. Like I had 30 posts, but I was still afraid. Oh my God, how long will it go for? And how will I manage my, like content? Like I usually used to go out to get content, right? So I was a bit worried, but then once it started, I got creative. I started cooking for myself, and thankfully, Big
Hmm.
Basket and everyone and every other service was still active in my area. So I didn't, yeah.
Oh, that's a
So during this
relief. That's
whole
a relief.
pandemic situation, I feel really privileged. Like I know a lot of places don't even have these services. So even like I don't like I'm so privileged. I don't have to step out at all. Like during the whole 4 month phase, I just ordered whatever I wanted, be it
Yeah.
Swiggy, be it Amazon, be it Big Basket. It was really convenient for me. So I didn't suffer in terms of the my food account didn't suffer at all. So yeah, and also I don't my whole one more thing is about this podcast is I want to tell people that acknowledge your privilege and don't dwell on your shortcomings or what you don't have at the
Hmm.
moment, because you know what, worrying about those things won't get you anywhere. Like I maybe I would have been in Vietnam, Thailand, or Hawaii, enjoying my vacation, but it's not like this. I'm still where I was before.
Yeah. Keep dreaming,
One day
mate.
it
Keep
happened.
dreaming.
It will happen, Nitya, and you will regret it. Anyway, so
Okay. Thanks, man. तेरी बददुआएं लग रही है मुझे. Anyway. Yeah, talk about being grateful. I'm definitely not grateful about doing this podcast with you. But besides that, I think Manas has mentioned a very critical point, which is, about giving thanks and giving gratitude about what you have right now. Because literally, guys, roti hai, पैसे हैं, कपड़ा है, छत है, मकान है.
you're
Literally,
healthy.
you're sorted. You're
Exactly.
literally sorted. You're done.
In,
You're like
in
done and
my case, if
dusted.
you're healthy,
Sab hai.
your family and your friends are healthy, then you have nothing to worry about. I mean, you're surviving just fine, and that's a
Yeah,
priority right now.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
people, I think I'm melting right now. It's too hot.
Yeah, I think I can see my own reflection in the puddle of my sweat. It's beautiful. And it's amazing, I mean, I knew I'm going to learn a lot from this podcast, but these are like new discoveries of seeing sweat trickle down my nostrils. This I have
I
not
think
seen
once
before.
again, I think it's not sweat trickling
It's a
down your
beautiful
nostrils.
adventure.
It's not.
It's not okay, it's not boogers, okay?
Like
I
I
know
don't
the
think so. I
difference.
don't think that there are sweat glands.
It, it is sweat. It is sweat that's coming out of my eyes and they look like tears, and then it's kind of, you know, I don't know, it's touching my nostrils. It's really strange. It's like creating patterns, and it's like I'm like a walking talking hose right now. Anyway,
So I think people by now you know that more than 25 minutes and it's doing something with Nitya's
it's
brain. She's
exactly
getting beats.
28 minutes and 9 and 10 seconds as we talk. And
Don't
also
tell them.
guys,
Don't tell them the timeline. I have to edit a
and also
lot, so
guys,
it
before
might be.
we before we end this, first of all, I would just kind of want to share one thing with you, that at this moment, if you're not having an emotional or mental breakdown, I think you need to be the friend you've always needed in life. You need to be that pillar of strength for another person, because in this pandemic you can
Yeah.
only kind of face a crisis when you get through it together, because no man's an island. It's okay to admit you're vulnerable right now. It's very important to reach out to people when you need the support and help. And that's why we're trying to be that one friendly voice and failing at it very miserably. But we're trying to be a friendly voice that can reach out to a larger audience, even at the disposal of being at our home. So that's one thing. And also feel free to discard any statement that does not resonate with you, or anything that you do not connect with, because you do not have to uh you know connect with everything we are saying. So it's a free platform of expression, so it's completely fine. And feel free to ask anything you want to ask, a question you want, our opinion on any of your personal problems, or just suggest a topic you would like us to discuss on the podcast. Send us an email on AURBATAPODCAST, the Orbata podcast at gmail.com, or you can just send us a DM on the Orbata podcast on Instagram. So, guys, please be kind.
And if you're
And
like being generous and feeling, kind and all that, you can also follow us on our Instagram. My handle and both of our handles will be in the episode description. So if you want to check it out, you
yeah.
can do that as well.
And if you're
And
and if you're having random bouts of love towards us, you can also express that love through any donations you want to give us, because that sounded so cheap and shallow right now. Should I edit
hey,
this part?
hey, no, 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 I'm not editing this part. I'm gonna keep it.
Yeah.
So you won't be able to pay us anything, monetarily, but you can share it with other people, and eventually, you know what, we're gonna open a Paytm or something, not
Yeah.
Paytm, then they'll link. फिर तो हमारा अकाउंट इकट्ठे सारा हैक
we
होगा.
have we have Mata Rani's blessings with us, because our hearts are in the right place. So, as blessings, please give us your offerings as money. That will work
Yeah.
very well. And Mother Dairy, you better do, huh?
Okay. With that, we are signing off. That's our time. We'll see you